Hi guys, we're going to look at the example of an industrial shed. Alright, so what we have to look at here is a floor space of 600 square metres, and it's going to be divided into 3 rectangular rooms of equal size. The wall internal and external will cost $60 per metre to build. Right, so the question sort of got the information that you need pretty well in it in terms of the diagram over here. So we have to find y in terms of x. So we have to use the information that we do know. So if you think of all the x's you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the y's you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so in terms of that's when we start looking at the perimeter that we have to do, then that's the case. If we start looking at the area, well, we know that 1x, 2x, 3x times by y has to be equal to 600 square metres. So this will start with doing part A. Again, as I said before, with these questions you just work your way through each part and it takes you through what you've got to do. So we know the area is equal to 3 lots of x times by y, and we know that's equal to 600 because it tells us in the question. So therefore we could say that our y value is equal to 600 divided by 3x, which we could then cancel out a factor of 3 and say it's equal to 200 over x. Alright, so that's a connection there that we've got between x and y. We always find in these questions that you have to find an equation in terms of only x or r or h or something like that. So we use one equation, so in this case it's our area, to find y in terms of x. Part B says show the total cost of the wall is given by this. Well, the cost of the wall is going to be equal to 60 times by the perimeter. Alright, so we can say that. So the cost of the wall is equal to 60 multiplied by the perimeter of our shape. Now if we think about our shape, we had 6x plus 4 lots of y. And we have to times that all by 60. Keeping in mind we know what our answer is supposed to be, so our answer is supposed to be this, so that's what we're looking to try and show it's the case. Now in here I'm going to go 60 times by 6x plus 4 lots of now y. Now y is equal to 200 over x. Now you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, but this is just one method. So when I expand that out, I'm going to get what? And keeping in mind, I want to get in the same order of over there, so I won't times the 60 through. So that's going to be 6x, 4 times by 200 is going to be 800 all over x. Okay, and so therefore that is our example that we're getting there. Now the key thing about this equation, if you couldn't do part A and B, you can still do the rest of the question from part C onwards. Alright, so you don't need to lose all your marks now in the question if you can't do those first parts. So this is the equation I need to put into my calculator because we want to obviously minimise the cost, don't we? So go in there, clear this, clear whatever function you got in there. So 60, multiply that by 6x plus 800 divided that by x. And that will hopefully give us a function. Now again, once we've got that, just make sure your stat plot is off. Yep, that's good. So we'll just graph it. Now if you've been working on these type of functions, you'll probably find that your calculator will be close to what you're supposed to be doing. In this case mine isn't. So one option is to go zoom, scroll your way down to 0. I can just go 0, it's quicker. And that will give me a portion of that function. You can see it's there. Now I'm in a situation where I can scale that out. Alright, so I don't need to go to minus there. Let's go to minus 5. Let's not go to 644,000. Let's go to maybe 5,000. We'll try that and see if that's any good. Alright, so graph. Right, if I don't see my graph on there, I'm obviously not high enough. I need to go a little bit higher. So just put an extra 0 on the end. And that would be enough to make sure, hopefully, that we can see our function. Alright, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a minimum over here. Now, while I'm on my calculator, I might as well find that minimum value. So the minimum, number 3, So scrolling across on this side over here, I could probably just type in, say, 2. That's probably on the left hand side, yeah. And then I can probably put in 50, right hand side. Yep, that's on the right hand side, and then that will find my area. So that distance, minimum when x is equal to 11.55, let's say. Alright, so now we can go back to our question, we can answer the things that we have to. So in this particular case, we have to graph that particular thing, sketching it. Alright, so sort of model that you're going to do, it's just a sketch. I'm sure you can do a better job than I'm doing over here. You want to go down there and go over here, and so that's x, and that's the cost in dollars. You know that's about 100. That's about 5,000, 50,000, isn't it? And that we're saying is x is equal to 100. And then we know this point over here. Probably should label it. It's 11.55. And the x coordinate was, the y coordinate was 8,313.84. So that there is 8,313.84. Alright, so now we're in a situation where we can answer the rest of the questions. So sketch that, labelling our axes and giving a scale. So use technology to find the minimum cost of the wall and the corresponding value of x. Well, we just read that information off the graph. So minimum cost of, so it's really about interpreting your answer here. Okay, 313.84. So that's how much it's going to cost, $8,313.84 when x equals 11.55 meters. Alright, so there are my two values that I'm reading off my graph there. Next bit on there is show the optimal dimensions on a sketch. Alright, so obviously you need to re-sketch that. I won't do that. What I'll do is I'll label my graph. So obviously you're doing up here, you have to say that is 11.55 meters. And then we know our y value. Our y value is going to be 200 divided by x. So what's 200 divided by x? Let's put out there. 200 divided by 11.55, and that gives me an answer of 17.32. So therefore you need to show that calculation, of course, and then you'd need to go and label that as 17.32 meters. Alright, so that's what they're looking for you to show an understanding of what you're doing and not just plugging through and getting answers. Alright, so that's the second question there, and in the next video I'll show you the third question.